I just kind of fell prey to what was available, which was the streets. So I'm in the streets, man, and then I got caught up selling drugs, running the streets, and got locked up for a gun charge. And then I was facing 20 years for shooting an occupied dwelling. You know what I mean? Just crazy stuff. I'm like, how in the world did I get way over here?
On the rise, lifelong friend, Jermaine Ferguson.
Oh man. Pete, man, it's good to see you, brother.
It's funny to see you, man. You look. It's funny, man. We're older. We're in our 50s,
and we still look the same. Still look the same.
It is with certain people, and you and I were tied very, very close.
Yeah.
Pretty informative years of our life.
Yes.
Sports was our life.
Yeah.
Man, it's like as soon as we saw each other, a couple months. At
Paul's
Paul's birthday, we'd
Yeah.
seen it was just like yesterday. We couldn't stop talking.
Sure was, man.
And I knew some things that had happened through Paul and some other people, but man, this is I couldn't stop talking to you, and your story was just so inspiring to me, man. Mm-hmm. I remember, I think I texted you the next morning. I just enjoyed it. It was one of those and even our Paul going there and seeing his life, and it was one of the happiest days of my life.
Yeah, me too, man. Just seeing you guys again, man. Just see that we made it. Yes, man. I mean, we started off on a good route because of our background with sports, man. It helped us. It really helped me through life as far as just having trials and tribulations and how to work through them. A lot of the sports stuff that we did with coaches and, really, it was strong on our mental. I was like, man, that was so strong for me.
So strong. It was great seeds planted too.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Well, I want to introduce this Jermaine Ferguson. Man, he has quite a story of redemption. Yeah, you are a star high school athlete.
Yes, sir.
Had one of the nastiest injuries I've ever seen. Yeah. It was crazy coming off. You had offers everywhere. And then, like a lot of us, man, that we put sports, young men, I can't speak on women. I'm sure it's the same. Mm-hmm. But young men, when you're really good at sports and that gets taken away from you, kind of unfairly at the time, you don't really know how to channel that energy, I think.
Yeah.
And you also we put a lot of our self-esteem into that and our worth, I would say. I mean, which is just natural. I don't really, it's just how it is when you're growing up. You don't know what you don't know. And then combined with being a young man at the time we grew up in the 90s and all that stuff and the influences, on top of that, you take guys, it's the best thing ever is being young because you're invincible.
Yeah.
The worst thing ever is being young because you're invincible and you don't think anything's ever going to happen to you.
Yeah. It don't even cross your mind, man. It don't cross your mind at all. And then, like you were saying with sports, especially when you're good or you have talent, that's worthy of balling and playing football sports. Because I hadn't even played football. That was my first time playing football. Was like our 10th grade, I think.
You came on 10th grade.
Yeah,
man.
10th grade, and I had never played. Coach just passed me in the hall and said, "Hey, you need to be wide receiver." I was like, I ain't never played no football before. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna practice all summer long," and then we was all out there practicing.
We worked hard, man. So Jermaine was a top notch basketball player. What are you, 6'3", 6'4"? 6'4". Yeah, 6'4". Jump out of the gym.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
4.5, 40 probably.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, 4.5.
They saw this guy and said, "Let's put you at tight end."
Yep.
Tight end wide receiver. And Jermaine, though, like a lot of basketball players converting over, you didn't have the physicality of football. You were tough, but you're such a good athlete. But it wasn't like we had one of the guys that really mentored us, Coach Scrubs.
Oh man, thank God.
Pastor,
Coach.
man of God.
Yeah.
He challenged us junior year.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah, he taught us to be tough, man.
You literally, you're a great basketball player. And that's how we always played AAU together and everything. But man, on the football field,
it was
you were out of this world.
Yeah, man. It was fun, man. When the first game, I guess it was Ed White, and they told me he was going to throw the ball, and I went up and caught it and came down. It was like this crowd, the lights, all that was like, yeah, I'm in. You know, it was something else, man. But then just the group of guys we had that we played with, all of the guys, man, we like gelled together for a long time till everybody started getting injured. Like I think Titus got injured, then Al Holt, and people just started getting injured, man, back to back, and it was like causing for the season to go on a different turn. But I think if no one would have got injured, we would have been tough to beat. Yeah, we'd have been tough to beat.
Well, you're going into it. You end up everything junior year, and you're playing, and then we played basketball, so we switch over to basketball season. And I remember this so clear. You go up for a dunk or a layup.
No, actually, I went to go up pack Sean Washington from Seminole.
Oh, you went to
block. We went up. They were coming down, and we was going up, and all of us went up in the air. It was like 3 or 4 of us in there. And I came down, I looked down.
Landed on your kneecap.
But the crazy thing, Pete, was I told Coach Gardro and Coach Pete, Coach Rich, hey, man, my knees, it was hurting. I was like, and he said, well, go to Coach Mose. And he checked it out, and he was like, yeah, you're fine, you can play. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, I should have just followed my heart and said, no, I wasn't going to play. But and Coach Gardro knew, because as soon as I came down and he looked, he was like, he said that he looked right at me, and Coach looked at me, and they was like, but I had told him, I said, man, I can't play. And I think that's one thing that if I had to give some advice to any young man that's playing sports today, is your own body. If you're hurting and you just feel like I'm not able to do this, then just say I'm not able to do it. You can play another day. You know what I mean? And it would be the best decision you could ever make. Because nobody knows your body like you. And I should have followed my heart.
Yeah, and we were so tight. Hold on. What? Where are they? Oh, okay. We'll cut this out.
It's perfect. Don't stop. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember because we were so intertwined. We were training partners. Yeah. We played football. We both broke out our junior year in football. And I remember that happened, and I was devastated. Because at that point in time, basketball was a secondary sport for both of us.
Yeah.
And, with the hopes that you'd be back. But knee injuries back then weren't as quick.
No,
they didn't
not
have
quick.
The stuff that they had today.
No, they didn't have the training, the equipment, none of that. So, and then that took a toll on my mind. Like, that was like a punch in the gut for me.
Yeah. So what did that? Your junior year, you're getting offers to everybody, and then I don't think you really couldn't even play your senior year.
No. I played a little bit. I came back.
You tried, but it wasn't the same.
No, I wasn't nowhere near the same.
And we had a couple guys like that, but you really good guys that I remember. I remember being so scared of a knee injury because of yours.
Yeah, man.
With that being said, so what takes place? You're out. You lost your one love, sports, your identity. Now you're. I don't remember if you were in high, what goes on and what changed.
Well, when I injured myself, I still got an offer from Central Methodist, which was Coach Fabrizio. That was his name. I remember. Gave us the offer to come to Central Methodist to play, and I went there for about 1.5 years, but just still couldn't get back. And I walked on to their basketball team, and the coach, and I was not even 100%, and was better than a lot of the guys that was out there on the court playing then, And he said it. He was like, "This guy ain't even 100%. He's out here running circles around you guys," and you know what I mean. I was like, "Man, you don't even understand. If I was full power, it'd be lights out, for half of these guys out here." So, But you know, it's just like you say, to take a toll on your mind. You don't know what to do, because that was like in my mind, like, this way you gonna go. That was I didn't have a plan B. I ain't had no plan B, Pete. That's why I played sports the way I played it. When I was talking to you, I was like, man, I was a little ball. But I had, my mindset was like, I understand the way Mike Jordan is how they were so just, you know, I just had that mentality. That,
I mean, having that mentality and being talented. I mean, you definitely. I mean, I ended up playing college football and everything.
Yeah,
you would have been one of the best.
Yeah,
I mean, you would have been. You really would have been.
Yeah.
You would have been you would have starred on just about anybody's team.
Yeah.
So what? Like, so you're kind of lost. What happens to you?
Well, I go to school, man. I ended up being there for a little bit, but then because I couldn't do my rehabilitation in Central Methodist, I just left, man. I left and came home, and I got like any other kid, not having no direction, no plan B, no anything. I just kind of fell prey to what was available, which was the streets. So I'm in the streets, man, running the streets, trying to make ends meet, you know, still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Like, you know, I ain't got no job, you know, I don't know what I want to do. I didn't have a dad, so I didn't have somebody physically. I had my mom, but my mom, she worked she worked all day. You know what I'm saying? She was a furniture sales for Rooms to Go. So she worked, she did the best she could with supplying me and my sister, but I just kind of went back to my old roots. I went to the neighborhood where my dad and my brothers, which I didn't grow up with my two brothers. So I was trying to like recapture that, because I just grew up, it was just me and my sister. You know, so then here I am over here on the other side of the fence with my dad and my brothers. And my brother, he was already out in the streets doing his thing, you know. So I just kind of went with the flow of what was available for me then, you know, and then I got caught up selling drugs and, you know, running the streets, and got locked up for a gun charge. And then I was facing 20 years for shooting an occupied dwelling. You know what I mean? Just crazy stuff. I'm like, how in the world did I get way over here?
Yeah. I mean, I remember hearing about that, and because I've known you. I mean, I knew you for so many, when we were little. Like, your mom used to pick me up to go drive. My mom would take us home to practice and stuff, and I just knew you, and I was just blown away.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was
like,
so
nobody would have thought these guys would be
thought.
shooting guns, and you know what I mean?
But I understand it though, and I understand our culture back then was very, very. There's something about it, because I talk a lot about addiction and drinking and stuff like that. Yeah. There is something about the time that we grew up, though. It was cool to be hard.
Yeah.
And it was cool to be bad.
And that's what you were chasing, like that cool image.
And to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. And just trying to fit in.
Just trying to fit in, man.
Oh, bro, that's mainly what was happening. Like, I was trying to find,
like, the worse you were, the cooler you were. Yeah. In a lot of senses, man.
Because all we knew was sports and team. So when you come home and go in the streets, it's like they got this team image, or they put up this team image. Hey, be a part of the crew. We got you. You know, so it's like you get embraced by this team image, but it's not really a team image. There's no camaraderie there. You get locked up, you're gonna see it ain't really no camaraderie. Yeah, you on your own. So, and that was the whole thing. It was like a bait and switch. Bait them, get them out here, and then switch it at the end of the game. You know, you stuck facing 20 years, or you stuck, you know, looking at all of this time. So
you start off in county, I guess.
Yeah, I was in.
Did you ever go to prison?
No, actually, man, I got, by the grace of God, got sentenced to like a year, and then I got sentenced to like some programs. So I did a couple months in the program, and I did like, I think 6 to 8 months in the program, and then a year and a half in the county for the gun charge, because it was my first like real charge. So it's like I didn't just have possession of it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So thankfully, no violent, So it was, I was just graced by God to not have to, but that time in the county, the Lord allowed for me to run up on a guy who was in my cell with me. He was my cellmate, and he was heavy in the Bible. I mean, very strong in it. And he just went to showing me different things in the Word, man. And I started reading it, and I'd be up late night because there's nothing to do. So I'm up. There's a little light that you can just see, and just enough for me to read. And I would just read, man, read and read and read. I would read the Bible every night, just reading it. I mean, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, but, getting to really know the Word myself came when I was incarcerated, and that helped me a lot. And eventually, man, I was not even supposed to be on trustee. They sent me to trustee. So here I am out here, outside of the cell now. I'm walking around doing different things. Then eventually the Lord took me from being a trustee to being working with the CO in their staff lounge. So I'm eating good food, Pete. I'm eating steaks and whatever they're eating. I'm eating. The officers, hey, you want some shrimp? You want some salad? So I ain't eating none of the stuff coming through the trap. I'm eating real good food, and I'm like, man, Lord, you took me from out of the cell block, and I'm not even supposed to be on trustee. I wasn't even supposed. I didn't even get charged yet. I mean, I haven't gotten even sentenced yet. So I'm like, man.
Was that a God thing?
Yeah, it was, bro. Because the CO who ran the rec yard, when he would take us out, I would be out there playing ball, and I'm whooping the guys, and he was like, y'all can't whoop this guy over in the F part. Listen, he ain't no joke. So one day he came and got me, Pete. I'm out all day long playing basketball. The whole day playing basketball with all of the different pods. And I'm just beating up on everybody, but just having fun. So it's like I was locked up, but then I was free.
So,
man, it was crazy, man.
So all right, I'm going back to this because I think it's intimidating a lot when people hear reading the Bible.
Yeah.
Or how do you go about it? You have a cellmate that's really into it.
Yeah, really.
Were you going into it going, I want to read the Bible?
No.
Or were you going into it going, this guy's crazy?
No.
Or whatever. Or how did he even?
Well, he was sitting on his bunk, and I was just asking one night.
What a nice cellmate, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, I said, man, what you reading? He's like, oh, this the Bible, man. I was just reading the book, man. And he say, you ever read the Bible before? I said, yeah, I know the different books of the Bible, but I said I ain't really ever got deep into it. And then he went to explaining to me about Jesus and different things about his life, but the way he was structuring it for me, man, I had never heard it that way. And I was like, how do you know so many scriptures, man? Because he was quoting them like this, and I'm like, how do you remember where it's at and where it was written? Because he would say it, and I was like, let me see if you tell me, because I'm thinking like this guy just talking, rambling on. Let me see if he know what he talking about. So I go, and he right on the money. It's right there where he says it's at, and he ain't even holding the book. He don't have the book in his hand. He just talking, and I'm like amazed at the fact that this guy can quote all of these scriptures and know exactly where they are and everything. So, man, when he showed me all of this, man, I'm like, man, I gotta learn this. Man. I said, what you doing locked up? That was the question. I'm like, why are you locked up, bro? You don't even understand. You got some talent. I said, that's amazing. I ain't never seen nobody do what you do. It's like a walk-on Bible. And he just would help me every night with the Bible. I reading, studying. But then this particular day, my pastor, who had risen to become a pastor, he came into my cell block. And I had never seen this happen. He walks into the cell block, and he bypasses people. And he says, let me get 15 minutes of your time. Almost like the Lord opened the door for him to walk right in there to talk to me. Because I'm walking to go upstairs to go fix a soup or something, and he just stopped me and said, let me get 15 minutes of your time. I said, okay. So I sit down on this stairwell. He gives a testimony about his life, and it was kind of like similar to mine. He was like, I was facing this much time, for trafficking drugs. And he said, but, the Lord delivered me. I started selling cars. He said, I'm making $100,000 a year selling cars. He was just explaining to me what's going on now in his life. And I'm like, man, I want this. this like sound like me, you know, like I think I could do this. So when I got out, my mind was, I want to go sell cars. So when I get out of prison, I'm working at a T-shirt factory, making $7 an hour. And in the middle of the day, while I'm making these T-shirts and I'm cleaning the screens, I just hear a voice say, if you want me to give you a job that's better than this one, you got to leave this one now. So I walk right into the office and I tell the boss lady, hey, this is going to be, I'm putting my 2-week notice. It's going to be my last couple weeks here. She was like, what are you talking about? You the best, you know, cleaner we got. I said, yeah, but the Lord just told me that if I want a better job, I'm going to have to leave this one that I got right now and by faith. So, and she was like, she was just shocked. She's like, but she said, well, yeah. She says, you know what? She said, this door will always be open for you. If you need to come back, you can come back. And I left, and like about a week later, I left on my bike, riding home. I get to this program because we were in the halfway house, so I'm in the program there. And this lady who was at the church where we were attending, she's sitting inside the driveway. So I was wondering why she was there. I'm pulling up. I said, well, she said, I was just coming by to see you. She said, I just felt like the Lord want me to come by and check up on you. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, I was finna go and I was trying to get up to the car dealership because I was going to fill out an application for a job. She said, well, come on, I'm going to take you. And she took me up to the car lot. I went and filled out the application, and the sales manager said, nah, he says, you ever sold cars before? I said, man, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I ain't never sold cars before. I said, but I sold drugs. I said, he was like, he sit back in the chair like, he sold drugs before, right? So he was shocked that I said that, and he was like, I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like that. I said, I'm just being honest, man. I said, I just want an opportunity to prove that I can do the right thing. I said, I know I got hustle in me. I said, I used to do sports. I was a hustler then. I went out and sold drugs. I was a hustler then. I said, I got hustle in me. So whatever I do, I can hustle and learn it. So he was like, he said, you said some off the wall stuff to me, but he said, I'm gonna hire you, right? And I didn't think he was gonna hire me. He said, I'm gonna call you later, right? And I walked out the front door. I'm like, man, this guy ain't gonna call me, man. You know, I'm standing out front, but I just didn't sense in my heart that he was gonna call me. And while I'm standing there, this one salesman and the customer was arguing back and forth about this car. He's like, he said, you guys don't have the car. I've been here for 2 hours, and you guys saying you got the car. And he was going downstairs to get into his truck and leave, and his wife was sitting on the passenger side of the car. And the Lord said, go down there and tell him the truck you're looking for is on this lot. And I'm like, man, these people, they've been arguing right before you tell me, you go down here and tell this guy this. So I walked down to the car and said, hey, sir. I said, I don't know you, and I don't know you. I said, but the Lord told me to tell you the truck you're looking for is on this lot. And he was like, how you know this and these idiots right here don't know? I said, all I'm saying is the truck that you're looking for is on this lot. And the boss man was watching me from inside the window there. And but the customer who had the truck that he wanted pulled in next to his truck and gets out of the truck. And so he looks over, he sees the truck on this side of his car. He's like, this the kind of truck I was talking about right here. And so he's over there looking at the truck, and the one guy who was finna purchase the truck, who was test driving it, was bringing it back. He was like, yeah, they got about 2 of them in the back, way in the back there. They just came on the thing. He said, I was just test driving this one. I'm bringing it back today because I'm going to purchase one. And he was like, well, this the truck I'm looking for. And the boss man said, he didn't do his inventory check. The guy didn't do his inventory check, so he was telling the person that there's no car on the lot, but there was. They were in the back. And he called me up there and he said, hey, he said, I'm gonna buy this car today. He said, but he's not gonna sell it to me. He gonna have to sell it to me. He pointed at me. Like, this guy gotta sell it to me. So I was like, well, I ain't hired yet. You guys. So the guy said, come on up, come on. Come in the office. I come in the office. He said, listen, I'm going to hire you today. He said, you're going to do your paperwork, but you got to sit with this customer.
So that's how you got the job.
That's how I got the job.
Jermaine,
I knew it was the Lord. Right. I knew that was the Lord.
So Jermaine, like
I worked that job for 12, almost 15 years selling cars after that.
Bro.
Making $100,000 a year, Pete.
Just like him.
Just like him.
So Jermaine, you said a couple things, man. And one, like it is weird when we separated those years. I could not fathom you being a guy on the streets doing it because you're just like a you are loving, fun, good hustler, great teammate, best teammate.
Yeah, amen.
And everything. And then but hearing you with the faith, I want to go back. You said in prison or jail, like I love when you said that you were incarcerated, but you were free.
Yeah.
What is that like? Tell me how that, like, how is the rest of your, like, so you had a year in there, but when did you find God?
Well, I fasted for 3 days with this guy.
All right. We talked about fasting too, but you didn't tell me about the fasting.
Yeah, because I had never did it. And so
you fasted.
Yeah, one day we were in the discussing the word and he says, yeah, I got to go on this fast for a couple of days. I say, how long you been, man, you ain't gonna eat no food? I said, man, you gotta eat. You must try to pass out. We ain't got no help back here. I say, you call the COs, they may not come. You pass out in this cell block, I ain't gonna be able to. We used to joke like that. I say, you pass out in this cell block, I ain't giving you no mouth to mouth, right? so he was laughing when he said, no, I ain't gonna pass out. I said, well, why you do the fast? He's like, well, I do 3 days, nothing but water. And I was like, and what do you do? Like, what do you? So I went to question him about like the whole process, right? So he was explaining it to me, and he says, "Well, let me show you in the scriptures." So he shows me in the scriptures a different thing. I say, "I'm gonna do it with you." He said, "You gonna do it with me?" Sure. He says 3 days now. He said, "Now after the first 2 days are gonna be hard.
The third day."
He said, "But the third day is gonna be enlightening, right?" He said, "But 2 days you give me." So the first day, I was like, bringing the food to the trap. I'm looking at the food.
You make it like half the day. Half the day, you're all right.
Oh, yeah. But then when it get late at night, I was like, man, my stomach's... I'm like cringing and, so I get up, go get water, drinking water. Second day, oh, man, I felt crazy because...
You're real hungry. You're tired.
Yeah. And I'm trying to... He's helping me, walking me through it, though. He's saying, hey, don't eat that, eat this. So he's like, don't think about the food. This is your food.
Oh man!
So he has me reading the scripture. He said, "Now read them out loud." I said, "What's the purpose of reading them out loud?" Yeah. So he would take me to the book of Psalms, and I would read it out loud to myself like this, and it started to like,
fill you up.
Yeah, man. It was a different feeling because you could sit there and read it, just read it like this. But don't say nothing to yourself. But speaking it out loud is a different level. Yes, I don't know what it does, but it's a different level.
Sound, speaking with your voice. It is because it's outside of you.
Yeah.
It's even like us sharing this conversation rather than being in our own head thinking about it.
Well, in the scripture, it says that when they fasted, 1/4 of the day they would read the scriptures aloud.
So that's funny, man. We talked. I didn't know that you fasted in there. You didn't even bring that part up. Yeah. We talked about some other fasting, which I definitely want to hit you. I'm super into fasting. I started with it because of a health reason. They said that it's good, 72-hour fast, and the first time it was torture.
Yeah,
the same thing. But I was thinking about it. But in the Bible, it also says is like when you fast, do it with joy.
Yep.
And since then, I actually look forward to it.
Me too.
And I really do. And I know when it's going to be hard.
Yep.
I know when it's not. And it really isn't. I've gone 6-7 days now.
Yeah, I've done 21. I've done 40. I've done 3. I've done 7.
Have you done? But you did food once a day with the 40, right?
Yeah.
Or did you do the
food?
full?
We did one meal a day with the
21.
40.
Did you do?
And the 21? It was nothing but fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables.
Was that the Daniel fast?
Is it really? I knew it.
Yeah. And then 7, I did nothing but water.
I did
7,
water, black coffee. Yeah. I did.
And then I did 3, nothing but water. So I've done those. But
but we didn't even talk about it. And we were just saying, and I had mentioned, because I learned, like when I have a difficult time going on, I now fast. And even everything's always begrudgingly in the beginning. I'm like, oh, is this going to work again?
Yeah.
But like if I need clarity with anything, if I need to pray.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I had no idea that that's what you did first. Yeah. And then so you're reading so that kicks it off?
That kicked it off. Like, because the next, like that third day, I just woke up like he was standing there like it was almost like he was praying over me or something. I'm like,
what are you doing?
I'm like, what you doing? But he was walking back and forth in the room like this, and I just woke up out my sleep. But I just felt so like enlightened, like illuminated, man. Like I couldn't explain it to people, and I could hear and sense things a lot clearer. And I was like, man, I was amazed. And then it made me want to read more. So I really started digging. I was up late night reading. I'm reading. And then I started being able to memorize the scripture. So I was like, oh, that's how you memorize. This is how you memorizing all these scriptures. So it started to make me more keener with being able to quote the word, because there's power behind it. There's we can't explain it because it's by God. It's design. It's by His design. But it really helped me out, bro. And then it took me to a place where, like I said, I became free. Even though I was incarcerated, I was free. So God was showing me favor with the COs. They was letting me out of the pod. I was going to the staff lounge.
Like, did you actually enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. Like, I really did. I was like, they would get me out of the cell. Hey, how you doing? Just showing me tremendous favor in the jail cell. And it was like, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm not coming back here. They said, yeah, we'll see you when you get back. I said, no, the next time I come in here, I say, I'm going to come in here with no badge, no nothing. And I say, I'm going to be able to walk through and talk to the inmates. And that's what I did, bro. I ended up going back to the county jail, filling out to come in and volunteer. They turned me down 7 times, Pete. 7 times they turned me down, but I kept going back, and I had to literally go up all the way to Sheriff Urslinger. Sheriff Urslinger was the one who signed off, and he says, I'm going to give you this opportunity to come into the county jail to minister to the inmates. He said, but don't let me down. And I told him, I say, I won't let you down because I can't let God down. And because he called me in the middle of the day while I was driving my Durango. I was on lunch break from the dealership, and I answered the call. He said, hey, this is Don Urslinger. He says, is this Jermaine? I said, yes, this is he. He said, listen, I'm going to sign off on you to be able to come into the county jail to minister to the inmates. He says, but don't you let me down. I said, I won't let you down because I can't let God down. And from that day, I walked into the cell block, and a lot of the COs that were there, they were like, because they knew my charges. They knew that he got gun charges, but he signed off and allowed for me to come into the county.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I ministered to the youth. I did the youth cell for a long time, Bible study for the youth, and then I would talk to the older inmates from time to time.
Man, when you were telling me all this, and then I feel like even talking to you have a lightness about you, like you feel light.
Yeah.
Like you did, and I love hearing that when you're in a place, which for a lot of people and everything, it would be a rock bottom.
Yeah,
very easy to go down a deeper. You hear a lot when people go to jail that they get worse.
Yeah,
and then they don't see opportunity out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but like I love like you're eating lunch.
Yeah, in the staff lounge.
In the staff lounge, like you were filled up.
Yeah, man, I was filled, bro.
Hey, whatever happened to your cellmate?
He ended up getting out. His name is Gerald Boone. Yeah, I never forget him. And he goes to a church over in Oviedo, but his name is Gerald Boone.
Is he doing well?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing pretty good. Yeah. I spoke with him not too long ago, and I sent him some money. You know what I'm saying? Because I just like to look out for him, just to be a blessing to him, because he was a blessing to me. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have given my heart to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know? So I really thank God for him.
But he's doing good and everything.
Yeah. God, he always sends you people to help you grow along the way. So he was one of them. Pastor Rico Sharp was one of them, which was, I was underneath him as a pastor for almost 20 years. He was the senior pastor, and I was the assistant pastor under him. And so he taught me how to teach the word, how to talk to people about the Bible and teaching and put it into simple practicality, things like that. So I'm grateful, man.
I would think people love hearing you talk.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, man.
I enjoy it, man. There's a lightness about it. It's not a lecture. It's a lightness, and you want to do more like that.
Yeah, because it come from the heart, man.
Yeah.
When I speak, man, I speak from just my sheer experience, and I try to make it, practical so you can learn the word at the same time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got challenges in life, and it's how do we get over these?
So one of the challenges, you married your dream girl.
Yeah.
You met her when you were, I guess, before you were back out.
Yeah. Actually, we had just come out of when I got out of jail.
Yeah.
When I got out of jail, and I had gotten that enlightenment, I told her, I said, "Hey, we got to get saved." And she was like one of the first ones I led to the Lord. I said, let me, and I was in the cell on the phone with her, and I told her, I said, "Hey, I'm getting saved. You need to get saved." And she's like, "Well, I'll do it." Okay. And I walked her through the prayer of repentance, and she gave her heart to the Lord, and she started studying while I was incarcerated.
Right. Yeah. So, and you guys have both. You have the three girls.
Three girls and one son. Yeah.
Son, and you got 8 grandkids.
Yeah, 8 grandkids, man.
You had talked before. We were all talking and sharing. You guys had some bumps in the road in your marriage.
A lot of them.
And like you think like a guy, like a pastor or whatever else, hey, you're not going to have challenges.
Yeah. No, we had them. I mean, we faced divorce twice.
Yeah.
She had wrote up divorce papers like, "Hey, I'm through." And but the Bible said, "What God put together, let no man put asunder." And when he says that, he's talking about us too. Yeah. Like you yourself are not going to be the reason why you destroy your marriage. You know what I'm saying? And so when he spoke that, he was speaking to my wife, and he was speaking to me too. What he put together, don't you separate it, and don't you separate it. And so we both had in our minds and in our heart that divorce was never an option, because it was never an option in the Bible. The Bible says divorce was written because of the hardness of people's heart. He says in the beginning it wasn't so. That was not an option. He said Moses wrote that precept.
All right. Let me ask you a question that you guys are, because I mean, that's like in a relationship though, that's, you see people meditating in a cave.
Yeah.
I've heard this saying before. You go meditate in a cave, you think you're alive. Try to be peaceful and alignment in a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where your real growth is.
Yeah, it is.
How did you but you guys have divorce papers written up. You probably built up resentments towards each other.
Yeah, a lot of it. Like hate, like she hated me, I hated her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I said I wasn't gonna be the one to sign nothing. I kept saying that. I say, I ain't gonna get in trouble with the man upstairs. If you wanna do it, you do it.
But then she
wrote it up. She wrote the paperwork up, and she was finna put it in, but the Lord didn't allow for her to. And
all right. So how'd you unpack that? Like, how'd you guys change? Did you guys put parameters around it? Did you guys like what do you do?
Well, we one day we had a conversation. We were just talking with each other about, and we weren't together. Like she was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, and but we never was like an enemy, like to the point where, we didn't like each other, but we wouldn't hate it. Like, it's like, well, what you need, we can do. I'll do that for you.
Were you separated or?
Yeah, we were separated.
You were separated.
So I would do for the kids, give her money for whatever the kids needed, that kind of thing. And then she was with someone, but that wasn't gonna stop me from supplying for my kids. And but the Lord told her one day. He told me one day, I was at the dealership, and I called her. I said, "Hey, the Lord gave me clearance to go ahead and give you this divorce. If you want it, you can have it." You know what I'm saying? So, and it was in the middle of the day, and she was with this guy, and she said she got up from the table, and the Lord told her that if you let this happen, that it ain't gonna work out. So she got up and left him. She packed up all her stuff and left. And And then she came to the dealership that day to meet with me. And she told me, she said, I want our marriage. I want to make it work. And at the time, I'm like, man, you been with this guy?
Yeah.
Thinking in my head, like, no, you done been with this guy. I don't want to be with you. I'm going to move on. I'm thinking in my mind. But somehow the Lord just kind of worked it out for us to, have that communication and talk. And we eventually said, okay, we're going to try this and see, and he just over time is being able to be together and forgive one another.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to forgive, because if you don't forgive, you ain't gonna be forgiven.
So did you have to lead the way in that forgiveness?
I had to, and she did too. Yeah. So she had to, because we had to allow for our kids to see us go through some things and get through those things. So that was a strong statement for our children.
Who did you have someone helping you with that, like a mentor, pastor,
pastor?
Because I think that's so incredible, Jermaine. Yeah. I mean, today's day and age, there's so many options. There's social media. You got your past girlfriends that would text or whatever it could be. Yeah. It's one click away for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. There's all these different things, and it's very easy just to quit today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's actually, hey man, you don't feel good. You should leave, whatever else it is. Take care of your own self. But like the fact that your parents, you didn't have your father growing up. Yeah. So there's that like marriage isn't there, but that you can actually foresee this and go and work on it.
Yeah.
After all that, that's so incredible to me. It's like so much courage.
What really changed our life was when the Lord revealed to me about, like I was telling you earlier, about the altar of God, and how that's one of the missing links in the body of Christ. Because, even with people who get married now, they don't get married at the altar. They get married like in venues, beach, or, this place or that place. They don't do it according to the word and how God wanted it to be done, but I was just reading the Old Testament about the altar of God and the pattern of the altar, because I was like, I always talk about this altar, and I'm trying to figure out like what was this pattern of this altar. And when I was reading in Joshua chapter number 4, it talks about how that God told the children of Israel when Joshua was crossing over, he told Joshua, he says, listen, right out there in the middle of the Jordan where the feet of the priests stand, he says, I want you to send one leader from every tribe, or one man from every tribe, to go out and get a stone and bring it back to the place where you're lodging. And those 12 stones, there were 12 tribes. So those 12 stones that they got, that's what they used to create the altar of God when they came back onto dry land. Not only that, but he told the people, he says, I want you to take 12 stones and leave them out there in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of the Jordan too. So they built an altar in the middle of the Jordan. And when you study the word, you'll see that the Jordan River was where Jesus was baptized. So he was baptized by the altar. Everything, when the man was healed with leprosy, he was in the Jordan. When Elijah was taken up by a whirlwind, he was in the Jordan. He was by the altar. Mm-hmm. And so, but I didn't really see that until I started studying on the altar. And I started saying, man, look at all these instances that were taking place, and they were all taking place by this altar, And so the concept of the altar is the 12 stones, and that's what Moses, when he wrote the 10 Commandments, the Bible says when he came down out of the mountain, at the foot of the mountain, he took 12 pillars or 12 stones, and he created an altar unto the Lord. And Elijah, when he went against the 400 prophets of Baal, he repaired the altar. That means he didn't take nothing new, he just repaired it. But he says it took the 12 stones, which represented the 12 tribes of Israel, and he repaired that altar that was torn down. So when I seen that pattern, I said, I'm going to create me an altar. unto the Lord. And I just went and got me 12 natural stones, and I created an altar. And when I did that, Pete, when I asked my wife, all kind of stuff started happening. Miraculous things started happening. God started just changing our conversation with one another. Our communication line got better. I was able to open up my company. I was able to hire my son. I mean, countless of things started happening for me. My family started coming together. My kids and my wife, everything just started coming together, man. And I told my wife, I said, this is the missing link. I think a lot of people going through stuff, and we don't have to go through these things if we had this at home, because it was supposed to be at home. He told them to bring it back to the place where you're lodging. That's what he told them when they took it out of the Jordan. He says, I want you to take these stones and bring them back.
So you build an altar. You take stones, you take natural stones, but then is that where you guys pray together? Like, yeah. I'm still confused.
Yeah, we would go and pray.
Okay.
And we would communicate.
But it's like a sign of humbleness.
It was our place of invoking the presence of God for ourselves.
You have a spot.
Our sacred place in our home.
Like some people have the prayer closets.
Yeah, some people have their
make that your altar.
Well, ours is a room. We have a room where we have our altar, and we go together and we pray together. My wife, I didn't even tell her to do this. She cleans it and does all this. She has it like every day. She does mops in there. It's like the Lord made her do that. I didn't tell her to do that. I thought about it, but I seen God just moving like that in my family. Like things that I would think about, she would already be doing it. Or things that I would, be meditating on, the Lord would have things starting to happen in the way that I needed it. And so it was amazing.
The invisible becomes more real than the visible. Yeah. Like this going on here.
But then I understood a lot more of the stories that I was reading, because Jacob, the Bible says Jacob, when he took these 2 stones from off of this place and put them as a pillow for his head, the Bible says he had this dream. And in the dream, he saw this ladder. The ladder was stretched from heaven to earth. And he says he saw the angels of God ascending and descending on this ladder. And he says at the top of the ladder, he saw the Lord. And he was standing at the top of this ladder. And he said he woke up from the dream and he says these words. He says, surely the goodness, the Lord is in this place, and I didn't even know it. And so what God did was he allowed for him to see what happens behind the scenes at an altar, because those stones came off of an altar that his great-grandfather Abraham had built. And so behind the scenes of an altar, that's what transpires for us. So like pre-adventure, God wanted you to have an access point in your own home for him to be able to have the angels of God ascending and descending in your location, to safeguard your house, to protect your family, to protect your belongings, right? And to help you along the way, because the Bible says he gives his angels charge over you to keep you in all of your ways. But if there's no access point, then how can they come? And if you look it up in the Hebrew, if you ever get a chance, you look up the when Moses came down out of the mountain and he took the 12 pillars, it says pillars. When you look up that word pillars, it's a Hebrew word for the word garrison. Garrison was an army term. And what it was a fortress where troops were sent to safeguard that location. So the altar is a garrison. It's a place where, if in the spirit realm, if the troops see the altar, they know where to come. Kind of like if you were in Iraq and we have a location for the U.S. Army, they have this garrison, and when our troops fly over there, they know where they are. They're over here, or they're over there, yeah. Right? Same thing in the spirit realm. The altar is like that sign for them to know where to come. Because if you don't have one, they don't know where to come.
I love it.
They want to help you, but
how long have you and your wife been married now?
27 years.
27 years.
27 years. We've been together for 28. but we've been married for 27.
27 years.
Yeah, 27.
And going strong.
Strong.
Stronger than ever?
Way stronger.
More in love than ever?
Way more love. Way more love, more understanding. Yeah, man. I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm glad we came through this. What if we gave up in the middle of the fight?
That was something you told me too. We were both like just so into our wives when we were catching up and everything, and just talking at the birthday dinner that when we saw each other. And I remember you said, "Man, I wish people knew to not give up.
Yeah,
like how much better it gets.
Yeah, man, it gets better. I mean, and then
that was encouraging to me though to hear it. Like it's like, man, you hear different people that and you know when someone's telling you the truth.
Yeah, bro. I mean, everybody go through something, Pete. You go through something in families.
Yeah.
You know, do you divorce your mom and your brothers because you go? No, you don't.
Nah.
Hey, you gonna still.
You know what's funny about your family too, and I really, even my kids too. It's like I mean the kids are definitely.
Yeah.
But I could say something about them. But
you
can't.
You've been. Yeah,
I'm riding and dying with them, man. Even if I am so mad and I'm like. Yeah. It's like, I could say that you can't.
Yeah. Don't you say no.
It like hurts me more than if you said it about me.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about me, but don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't lead them out of this right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's like we don't just give up on our families. Yeah. So if you don't give up on your family and this is your lifelong partner, you said that you were gonna be with them till death do your part. So that's a journey.
It's a really, I think it's a really good conversation to have about that though. And then I love that like your faith guides you and your wife's, you know, and you definitely have a fulfilled life. You have a thriving business. You have wonderful kids. You look great. You know, you and your wife are in love.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I know when you're telling me this stuff, I know where you've been.
Yeah.
And I know when you're telling me this, like, this is your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm in a great place, brother. I mean, and God knows.
Not to get it, we won't name the name or anything else like that unless you want to, but I don't even want to, like, we were talking about, you have a family member that's a real successful NBA player.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, like, you know, it's not all, like, making it big isn't always exactly the way you think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of business that goes involved with it.
A lot of business.
And we were talking about, like, you're like, you know what, my dream of being in the pros and stuff, I think God might have spared me.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I was like, yeah, it's nice being under the radar and just having freedom and having family. And I love that you got freedom. That freedom part hit me so much, being incarcerated. And I know, even not eating, and like you think all this stuff is so bad when it's taken away from you and you choose to go do it, but you found freedom. I think a lot of people not in jail are not free. Mm-hmm. They're slaves to their thoughts.
Yeah.
They're slaves to their stories.
And they're going to get out and do the same thing that they did to get incarcerated because they don't change.
But not even the people that go to jail. I think people that never have been to prison are still slaves to it. And I think, like, I thought, you know, I'll use sobriety. I'll use, you know, turning your life over to God. I thought it was like, all right, you tell me that's freedom. You're not. Now you're limiting what I could do. I don't want to be a goody-goody. I don't want to be a nerd or whatever else it is. Yeah, that's good. I don't want to be quoting scripture. You know, which I can't even quote scripture yet. But I'm like, no. What I find as I take a step forward, more and more and more, it's the ultimate. The more I commit, the more free I am. The more I commit to my wife, the more I commit to my family. I just feel that peace inside. It's all an internal game now. It's not what you see I got. And I battle. I go back and forth, human, the world to when I'm in my you know, when I'm like, oh no, this is like, I'm all right. I'm okay. Things will be all right. God's got me.
That's right.
And it's a battle though. I battle that all the time.
Well, when you realize you can't take nothing with you, none of it matters. Like, it's a greater sense when you know I can't take none of the possessions I have. Everything's going to be here. I can leave them to my grandkids or leave them to my kids, but, you know, so peace is more important than anything.
Have you ever had, I do think for a lot of guys and women, I'm sure as well, especially single moms, but I think for a lot of people, yeah, that's great, but I got to provide for my family.
Yeah.
Like when you put like that obligation, that like it's not even being selfish. It's like I have to be able to pay. I can't pay these bills right now.
Yeah,
my kids need this. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, every morning you get up, you know, you gotta go. You gotta go get it. You gotta go do what you gotta do. But you know, at the same time,
Do you pray every morning?
Exactly. I every morning I get up. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I acknowledge him first. And by way of doing that, I start sticking to a lot of principles. The principles of the word is very important to me. I tithe. I give offering. And since I went down the line of tithing and doing what God requires of me to do, he provides for me. Like, I don't have to look for no work, bro. I don't look. I just stick to the strip of I'm gonna do the right thing no matter what. Yeah, and that's a hard. You know, it's not no easy thing. Yeah,
I mean, when money gets tight, the first thing that goes is tithing.
Yeah, I got to. Yeah, well, when money get tight, the first thing that happens, you're saying, I got to get this money, and you're trying to figure out how. And sometimes you throw all morals out of the door instead of saying, no, I gotta.
Or you get tight and you stop doing those things that like you get tight. You start like just rushing, nervous, and not spending time with your
stressing.
family.
Stressing.
These are real things. Though.
Yeah, people go through it all the time. You know? Man, I'm stressing.
And we're in sales and we're in like economy. We got the same economy as everybody else. You got the same pressures.
Yeah.
Both you have 4 kids. I got 5.
Yeah.
Within there, and it's like, man, there's some real battles with that.
I ask God to help me to be a good steward. Show me how to be a good steward. Like when things are going real good, help me to put stuff where it belongs and not just because you know when it's going good, you're like, hey, let's go do
going
this.
Good's almost worse for me than going bad.
It's like
because when things are going bad, but I'm probably not fasting when things are going really good.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
fat and happy, man.
Me too.
Oh man, it's all good. I'm not going to do. You know, I mean, it's the truth. It is the truth. It's almost like when I get a little bit shell shocked, just like in sports.
Yeah,
you know, when you're back, you get. It's when you get too big of a lead or the team's good, you start coasting.
Yeah, you start coasting.
But when your back's against the wall, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then you get like I got to get into this. And then you're like.
But that helps you, don't it? When we played, that mindset we had when our back was against the wall, it helps us even when our back is against the wall.
So you even though you went down a dark path, but I mean, really, you went down a blip. I mean, really, in the course of a life, it was a couple of years. I had a couple of years of pretty bad years too.
Yeah,
it was, but it doesn't define your whole life.
No,
before or after, and yours is pretty understandable. It's
when
not
you're in it, it's long.
It's everything. Well, and then everybody says you're never going to come out of this thing.
Yeah,
and you're going to be a statistic.
Yeah,
but realistically, knowing our coaches, which I put up against anybody, and then our team. Like there was a guy. Talk about mentorship. I mean, this would make me tear up every single time, but like Coach Scrubs in real life.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, he instills some stuff. Drive. Hearing that voice, hearing his voice.
Hey, boy.
Yeah.
I got an ear pierce. I got my ear pierced. I thought I was cool one time. I wasn't even as scared of my parents as I was Coach.
Cool, yeah, me too. Yeah.
But he instilled such lessons in us.
Yeah,
he was so hard. He was so hard on us.
Yeah, he was.
But he loved us.
But he did. Yeah, he loved. And boy, if
he loved everything. He loved a lot, but he loved us.
If we messed up, man, he gonna give you that look, and you was like
a deep voice.
Yeah.
Man, but he trained us so hard. I think it's so important for young men to have someone that's hard on you, but that light goes because you got to get that energy. Look at it, you got to get that energy out too.
Yeah.
And teach
but
you
that's
discipline.
how life is.
It is so much. And he taught me a couple things. That I remember we got good. We ended up becoming. We were the position that was supposed to be the worst on the team because all these guys. We fell into our positions because the guys didn't come back, and we trained all the time. And then we end up being kind of better.
Yeah.
And I remember the guys would be playing before practice, and I wanted to just hang out in the locker room and be him. And he'd make us still, like, as soon as school got out, we were like on them. And I was like, this is not fair. But he taught me a lot, like about like driving, not taking the time off.
Yep.
But he also instilled God in us at a young age.
Yeah, a very young age.
Consistency.
That's what I learned from Coach Struzzo.
He didn't care about how good you were. He really didn't. No. He wanted us. He cared how we were turning out.
Yeah.
And a lot of us that all grew up together, he kept us together.
Yep.
You know, we kind of lived in an area that had, you know, we were kind of split.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. He taught us about team.
Yeah.
He taught us about people.
Yeah.
And then
peer pressure.
Yeah, and he kept everyone. But he did, man. It was like there was no color with any of us.
Yeah.
There was no anything. He had us like, but he really, I think of those lessons, and that's why anybody tells me don't play football. Anybody ever tells me about the brain, I don't care about the brain injuries.
Me neither.
Be careful, that's good.
Yeah.
But the lessons that it teaches you,
especially if you got the right coach.
Yeah.
If you got, some coaches now, they just yell at the players. But if you got the right coach.
We were so lucky.
And, that's going to stay on you, pull you to the side, grab you by your straps, and really talk to you, like Coach used to do us. Man, it was a blessing for me.
He wasn't I think about a lot of the stuff, man. I mean, he's been with me my whole life till this day. Yeah. Like when my sister-in-law died, he was the first person we called.
I was terrified. I was terrified because when I was incarcerated, somebody told me that he was coming in. I was terrified because I say, man, Coach gonna pop up in here. I thought he was gonna pop up on me, like, and like just that thought. And it was like, man, I don't even belong in here, man.
I know.
What am I doing?
Did he come in there?
No.
He's the one. He told me about a bunch of guys, like, because then he became a big pastor.
Yeah.
And but okay, so we go to him. What do you think about like mentorship? Of how important is mentorship in a coach and young man's?
Yeah, mentorship.
Even if they have a father, I just think a coach like.
Yeah, even if they got a father, just to have someone who mentor them that they'll listen to. Some, you got kids today that they don't listen to no one, but if you can find your child someone who they'll listen to, allow for them to be poured into. If they're gonna listen to this person, and this person gonna lead them in the right way, of course, because there's a lot of people out here that people have listened to, but they're not pointing them in the right direction.
Yeah.
So as long as it's someone who's gonna mentor your child and point them in the right direction, by all means, allow for them to speak into you, because they may not listen to you. Like your child may not. My son, he may not listen to me all the time, but there's some brothers that's around me that my son listens to, like Paul. He'll talk to my son, or my brother might call my son and talk with him, or
it's different.
Another friend of mine,
it's different.
Yeah, anybody that'll pour into them good, let them do it. Let them do it, because it only takes that one spark. My son could have been worse off if it hadn't been for the guys that's in my circle.
I think too, like, and people don't see this. They don't give it credit. They think we're so advanced as humans now. And now we got technology. And the technology separates everybody, the video games and stuff.
Yeah.
Men, especially women, do too. Women need other women. Mm-hmm. Men we're tribal by nature.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a group of people to be around.
Yeah.
And those positive guys. And we like being with the older brothers or the older guy. I looked up to all my cousins. I looked up to the older good and bad, like just like those different things. But then those, it's funny. I think of a person like him, and I strive. I'm not like him in a lot of ways, but I strive to be like him in a lot of ways. That I knew in my life, I've had major issues that came up, that were travesties. Mm-hmm. And
with your mom.
Yeah, my mom, but not. And then it's my sister-in-law dying and different things, and I always knew he was there for me.
Yeah.
I always knew he'd be the one that I can talk to.
How'd you handle your mom? Like,
my mom's thing was, I was, how close we were.
Yeah,
we're all mama boys, but she had so much faith, Jermaine.
Yeah,
she had so much faith.
Yeah,
and she made it. It was such a pleasure. She was supposed to only live 2 weeks. When I heard that was like I pulled over on the side of the road, and I I literally couldn't even breathe.
Oh wow!
And I just couldn't imagine. I was like, we just celebrated her birthday, and then it was like 2 weeks. But she held on for like 5 months, and not held on. She thrived for 5 months, and we had all my cousins, all my family, and she would talk about how wonderful her life was. She was so thankful.
Wow.
She was thankful down in the end.
Yeah.
And she just knew we'd have these conversations about God and stuff. And it just brought my family so tight and solid. So it was like she left us. I miss her.
Yeah,
but I know she's with, but I don't. She left us so good.
Yeah.
And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And she was Catholic. Coach came over.
Yeah.
What's it called? Like the priests, when they came to go talk, like he left in tears because he's like, I go to these people to comfort them. He comforted me. She comforted me. So she was just, my mom always smiled and was happy. Yeah. She was so thankful. She was like, this is the best.
Well, see, one thing about it, man, that's an appointment that nobody is going to miss. You might miss a lot of appointments in life, but you ain't going to miss that appointment.
So my mom always had a way about her too, though. Like she smoked cigarettes up to a certain point. And did everything, and she just had a way. She was the most loving person I've ever met, and she was the most faithful person I've ever met. And even at the end, she's like, she wasn't scared, she wasn't sad about it. She really was like, I had such a great life, and she had hard times, man. And she would have thought it was the greatest time ever. And she was just like not scared of the next phase. Like so, when you live around somebody like that, she's like, I don't want to live forever. She never like you hear about these people wanting to live forever. Yeah, she's like.
Well, that let you know she was prepared.
Yeah,
she was in her heart. She was already prepared. So, and that's the best thing a parent can pass on to their children is the ability to be prepared.
100%.
Because that's something that we're gonna have to face. Like my mom, she's still alive, but I think like your mom. I think about when because my mom's 70-something years old, but she calls me and says, "Oh, I'm not feeling too well," or all this here right here, and my dad, he's in a wheelchair. And his birthday's coming up next week, you know what I'm saying? But, I know that time's going to come, you know what I mean? And so even though I know that time's going to come, it's just I want my parents to be prepared. Like, be prepared.
And you miss them, but, like, I just know I don't feel, like, alone. I still talk to her. Yeah. I do understand, like, it's not that you pray for them, but, like, I'll be like, hey, Mom, can you put in – because she had the best prayers. We always felt like – we were being heard when she'd pray for us and stuff. And it was like, even when I wasn't faithful, I'd call my mom when something was going on. Yeah. And I'd be like, hey, Mom, can you pray for me? Yeah. And like, I just like, I still say the girls, like, it was just the most beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing. I'm telling you, it was this, even when she died, it was like my honor to be a part of it, to be there. My brother and I, and my sister, like we served her. She had a son that she didn't get to meet till 5 years ago or 6 years ago. They rekindled. Like it was man.
She had never met him.
No, she had an adoption early on in the 60s when like it wasn't, it was taboo, everything. And so she gave him up, and then the orphanage burned down. They couldn't get in touch. We were always like, how does he
that was like your older brother?
And I'm friends with him. We're super close now. He grew up in Lake Brantley, dude.
Oh, wow.
We were from New York.
Yeah.
We were from New York. We lived in New York.
Yeah.
I knew my mom worked in Miami. Yeah. She, like at some point in time, we moved from Long Island to Buffalo, randomly moved to Lake Mary, which is like the middle of nowhere at that time.
Yeah.
He literally grew up down the street from us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
And
he was like right around the corner.
Right around the corner our whole lives. And he lives in Osteen, which is like by New Smyrna.
Yeah.
He's up here in St. Augustine. Even on Mother's Day, he was there that day.
He looked
across
like
the street. We look similar, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's like he's in our life. My mom got to meet him.
Yeah.
My parents had gotten divorced, but they kind of my dad was there during time and stuff. So it was just a beautiful.
That's what I like.
Beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful experiences. I walked away going, I am.
Wow. Yeah, this is what I want.
It just was. It was really good. So I say this, but I'm not looking down at this.
Yeah.
My wife has me ask some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh, okay, go for it.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. First night in prison. What was it like?
First night in prison was terrifying. It was terrifying because I knew that I didn't belong in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like I knew I took a wrong turn
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, dang, how did I get down this road right here? You know. And then it was really just like sitting in that cell, man, like, man, I got caught with a gun.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, they finna put me away for a gun. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I went from carrying a basketball to carrying a pistol. You know what I'm saying? And so that was, and I had never been through that. And my mom told me, she was like, you get locked up, don't call me. Right? So, because I didn't raise you like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I was basically in there alone. Nobody,
Yeah.
I couldn't call mom. She wasn't going to answer. I was basically solo. So it was like, that's when I knew, hey, Lord, I need you. I need you to help me because I don't know. I was terrified, bro. You know, because I ain't know nobody, you know.
One word to describe prison.
Prison, not a good place.
I'm going not a good place.
Not a good place.
But you were free. You were free
yeah,
there.
Yeah, but it ain't. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Like, I wouldn't be like, yeah, you need to go to prison.
One moment that changed your life.
Moment that changed my life was when I met that gentleman in my cell block.
Yeah.
That was my turning point in my whole life.
In the worst place.
In the worst
incredible.
place, yeah.
That's how God reaches you.
That was it, bro.
What does faith mean to you?
Faith to me means trusting God to the fullest. Trusting Him even when you can't put a finger on Him. You know, just knowing that you're not some mistake. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think that, hey, God made a mistake when He made me. You know, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have this. You're not a mistake. If you got life in if you got breath in your lungs, you still got opportunity.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then advice to young men that might be going down the wrong road, but before it happens, like in the streets.
If you can pause and before you make a decision, that's going to be a blessing to you. But if you make the decision anyway and you go down that pathway, you know, just have enough heart to say, I'm going in the wrong direction. See, a lot of them don't acknowledge that, hey, I'm going in the wrong direction and I need to go turn around. We keep going down that same road. You know, it's just like going down a road and you thinking you know where you're going.
It's a hard, that one is really hard. You can give advice.
Yeah.
But it's almost like everybody has to find it.
You got to do it. You got you're going to have to because, man, that road it's not a good road.
I think there's freedom and power in surrendering.
Yeah. Yeah, surrendering to the Lord and giving your life to Him. I mean, I tell any young man, give your heart to the Lord. Learn how to walk with God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learn how to walk with God.
Well, your story definitely proves that, like, man, there is redemption.
Yeah.
There's God's mercy.
Yeah.
You know, and your worst mistakes do not have to define you.
Not at all.
At all.
Not
They
at
become
all.
your strengths.
Yeah, they do. And think about it. I mean, I was facing 20 years in prison, and I get to go into a cell block and talk to the same guys that I was, you know. And I'm not supposed by law, I'm not supposed to be able to do that, but I can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So-
And I love that. I love when you made it in. I love when you turned your life over to God and you were eating.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, good food too. I was like, wow.
All right. Where can people follow you?
They can follow us at The Gospel Now, which is on. We got a Facebook page on called The Gospel Now. You'll see my lovely wife and I. We have a podcast where we minister the Word of God. We do interactive Bible study. That's what it is.
Yeah, I
Interactive
see it.
Bible
I
study,
see it.
so.
And man, I just enjoy this so much.
Me too, bro. I
Dude,
enjoy it, man.
what a
you
fun-
my brother. I do this anytime with you, man.
I know it's funny, man. We're doing like in front of these things, but it's just fun catching up with you.
I'm proud of you, bro. Like I really am, man. Like just the man you become, the father you become, the husband you become, and just to know that everything that we both went through with sports, it really helped us out to keep us on track, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man.
That's a one thing I want to do. I don't even know how you do this, podcast. You know, I have some friends from college that I'm so tight with.
Yeah.
A lot of us did go through a lot. I don't know if it's like, I think it's more the type of person that goes to football.
Yeah.
And that isn't, that is just like all,
Yeah.
you know, it's a, I don't know what it is, but man, to see all our friends, like it does not matter. We don't remember. The wins and losses are great.
Yeah.
That kind of teaches you something, but it's like it is the friendships that we have. We've all been there for each other for certain things. There's a lot of us that have been through a lot.
Yeah.
When we all see each other, it's like we remember each other.
Like yesterday.
Like and we're there for each other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. As I was with Jason, like when Jason was going through, man, I called him. Paul told me, I said, hey, call Jason. I told, hey, man, you're going to get through.
But even Paul, like all of us have a story.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter. And I told Paul, I said, man, for you to get out.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. And it was like 9 days, like he ain't never been locked up. He's doing good. He's married.
But anyway, man. Well, I love you, bro.
Hey, man, you know I love you, man. You're the best, brother. I promise you, man. Yeah. Always a pleasure.